Houston. Y'all know what it is. Your man Nick Cannon.
Big shout out to Broadcast Houston.
Broadcast Houston. Shout out to Broadcast Houston.
Broadcast H-Town.
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 H-Time.
Yeah.
Broadcast Houston, man.
Rocking with Broadcast Houston.
Broadcast Houston.
Broadcast Houston.
Broadcast Houston.
Broadcast Houston. Shout out to Broadcast. This is where everybody want to be.
Oh, yeah.
We in rap form like a bell palm with a spare arm.
H-Time.
Locked in with Broadcast Houston all day, baby. Yup.
You are tuned into Broadcast Houston. Keep it right here.
Whoa. Appreciate everybody tapping in. It's Broadcast Houston and friends. Happy 4th of July weekend. We're going to kick this thing off. We got J. Prince Jr. in jail. We got COSBY out of jail. You see what I'm saying? And they trying to tell my girl Sha'Carri she can't go to Olympus because she, you know what I'm saying, smoked a little weed. I got some of my friends, KTTV, Fed Up Black Girl, FDA. They're back. Make sure y'all mute when you're not talking. Unmute when you're ready to talk. And as always, y'all know this is a conversation between us and y'all. So comment live on the screen. We're going to drop the comments live on the screen. Let us know how y'all feel. We're going to start off with Sha'Carri. And they're saying that, you know, Michael Phelps had this situation where he was smoking. But, like, I'm glad that they didn't take the Nike sponsorship away from her. But I think KT said that it wasn't 100% for sure that they banning her from the Olympics. But, like, all the outlets right now talking about their, you know what I'm saying, that they're going to ban her from the Olympics because of marijuana. She didn't get caught. It's not a performance-enhancing drug. So I'm going to start from the top. We're going to start with KT. Let the people know your background and let us know how you feel about the Sha'Carri situation. Make sure you unmute.
Look, you know that infamous unmuting. What it do, world? KTTV, Kendrick Thomas. Look, educator, principal, media, podcaster, everything. Just check us out, KTTV.com. Man, we got so much going. As far as Sha'Carri, to put it in context, man, she was in Oregon, right? Or everything legal. Now that don't take her away from the accountability. She know what she had coming up, right? And you know what's on the line. But on the other hand, as I looked at the interview today, it was, mom just died like right before she broke the world record. So she going through that. Young girl, right? And so man, I mean, pressure. We succumb to pressure. We're human. Like I said, I don't know if it's over for her. She will get the opportunity. She is suspended from the team for a month, but I don't know if she's knocked out from the Olympics, like I said earlier. So, man, just awesome to see her get to learn this experience, and I hope it don't take too much from her.
Man, the Olympics come around every 4 years. If they strip her for, you know what I'm saying, it's crazy. I'm gonna let y'all keep running it. FDA, let us know background again, and you know what I'm saying, what you feel about this Sha'Carri. This is marijuana. You can't run no more.
I'm into FDA. I have a free streaming site called Trap House Media. I give entertainment for low income families. I feel like people need to mind their business. They act like she's smoking crack cocaine. If the Constitution is not, what people not knowing that if Texas decriminalized weed, that means it's about to be taxed. So she was in a state where it wasn't illegal, so she wasn't doing something wrong. So that's where you go by technicality again, where you got the world. This is a world game, like So she representing the USA. So like they gonna make shit like, excuse me, like they gonna make stuff like where weed is bad. Weed is not bad because you can go to some states in where she from and smoke.
Yeah.
So
Amsterdam, you can go across seas, Jamaica, and do that as well. And I just want to see who's pushing for it, because it might be like she gonna blow everybody out the water. And so if you was another country, you probably.
Bro, that was a tactic to get her out the game, bro.
Mm-hmm. What's up, Taylor Bell? Let us know. Everybody is watching. Let us know where y'all tuning in from. She said, so true. Weed, LOL. Get out of here. People overreacting. I wonder if they test for crack and heroin and all this other stuff. You know what I mean?
So think about it like this, though. You remember Chris Benoit, the one who killed himself, bro? Now, he was taking performance enhancement drugs. Steroids drove him crazy to kill his whole family, bro. Mm-hmm. So you got some people that take things to help them perform better. But weed is really like
it's like taking some psych meds, bro. It's like it was an antidepressant for her. She just lost her mom, so she had to find weed as a coping drug. It's not a drug that's gonna make you get angry. So she just lost her mom, but what really making the media so they're talking about her smoking weed versus her mom just passing away. So they try to make the weed. They try to make the weed seem like it's such a bad ordeal, but you can't. Like, I lost my mom too. So at that moment in time, she probably didn't care about no tracks. She probably didn't care about none of that. Like on a normal day, if her mom was alive, and then the way that she found out her mom was dead through the media. Come on, bro.
Look, we trying to do responsible media over here. San Antonio in the building. Everybody, let us know where y'all tapping in from. We on Sha'Carri Richardson right now. If you didn't know, she's on I don't know. They trying to ban her from the Olympics after she just blew everybody out the water. We want to know what everybody thinks about that. Next, we going to Fed Up Black Girl. Taylor Bell said, "It's all good. My 11-year-old daughter make fun of me all the time. I got a girl's name." That's all good, man. For San Antonio, shout out, man. H-Town to San Antonio. Fed Up Black Girl, introduce yourself, and what do you think about the Sha'Carri situation? Make sure you unmute. Oh, like she might have. Okay, there you got it. That mute button, the mug, huh?
Yeah, I unmuted and then muted again. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah, you good. You good now. H-Town the building.
Okay.
DJ, let me have on it.
I'm Black girl. I practiced law full-time for 8 years. Now I'm in the classroom and still doing a little law on the side.
Okay.
I also consider myself a Black liberation enthusiast, and I want what's best for all of my people and to see us liberated, happy, and free. What I think about the Sha'Carri situation, I think it's pretty bogus. I agree with what's been said here, especially considering the fact that it is not illegal where she lives. I have two issues with it. First of all, I think that we have to understand the origins of the prosecution of marijuana. This goes back to the war on drugs. Was a war on Black skin. It was a war on people of color. Saying that Black people use drugs and use marijuana and they could find us and they could prosecute us for doing that. That was a way to increase the new Jim Crow, mass incarceration of Black people. And that is it's seen in the Sha'Carri situation just in a different way. They are now persecuting her use of marijuana, not by locking her up in jail because it's legal, but now instead of locking her up, they're stripping her of her ability to continue with her accolades. And so it's still racism, just in a different form. It's still unnecessary criminalization of recreational drugs to harm a Black person in a different form. I think the second thing that I have for it is, you guys both touched on it with her mother dying. I think the way that we do business in this country is so bogus, especially as it pertains to punishment, wrongdoing, retribution, all of that. We have to develop an ethic of care that says that we care about people, that we put the person first. And the problem that I have with this situation is that if you examine the totality of the circumstances, you can see that, as she stated, she's only human. She's just a person that was coping with the situation, with the unimaginable, the death of probably the closest person to her in the entire world, the person who gave her life. And so because of that, I think that we should have, the people that dealt with this situation should have used a more caring, a more compassionate, a more empathetic approach. And I think it's problematic that we don't do that. And we see it in law enforcement, we see it in schools, we see it in society. And so that's basically my take on it. I have a problem with the marijuana prosecution in general, especially as it relates to this case where it wasn't even illegal. And then I have a probably equally as big problem with the fact that we don't minister to the person and to their heart and to their spirit and to what they need. Instead, we just punish people.
Well, a lot of this is so we're probably underground media, and so the big media gonna do whatever they can for views, and that's a good story, so they're gonna run it, you know what I mean? And compassion comes later, you know what I mean? I know for everybody tapping in, want to talk about this PHYLICIA Rashad and Bill Cosby. We're gonna get to it. But Olympics coming. She did not lose her Nike sponsorship. Nike came out today and said, they're gonna keep as FDA just signals his approval live on camera. You see what I'm saying? Everybody tap in. We're gonna run this quick. Bill Cosby. If you're not up on what's happening right now, we're gonna run this quick 2-minute little clip, and then we're gonna talk about this Bill Cosby being released from jail. PHYLICIA Rashad had her moment, a whole celebration, and then she backdoor and was like, man, you know what? It's the Me Too movement, so I'm apologize. I ain't mean it like that. And so we're going to get everybody's discussions on that. And right after this.
Bill Cosby is out of prison. Today, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court overturned his 2018 sexual assault conviction for drugging and assaulting Andrea Constand at his home in 2004.
Andrea Constand is speaking out after Bill Cosby's release from prison and his sexual assault conviction being overturned. In a joint statement with her attorneys, Constand didn't hold back about the dangerous repercussions she believes this could have. The statement read, in part, today's majority decision regarding Bill Cosby is not only disappointing, but of concern, and that it may discourage those who seek justice for sexual assault in the criminal justice system from reporting or participating in the prosecution of the assailant, or may force a victim to choose between filing either a criminal or civil action. According to documents obtained by ET on Wednesday, because of an agreement Cosby had with a previous prosecutor, the Pennsylvania court found that he couldn't be charged in this case. In addition, it was also ruled that Cosby's case cannot be prosecuted again in the future. Cosby later shared this message to his Twitter account. I have never changed my stance nor my story. I have always maintained my innocence. Thank you to all my fans, supporters, and friends who stood by me through this ordeal. Special thanks to the Pennsylvania Supreme Court for upholding the rule of law. The ruling set off a firestorm of responses in Hollywood. But his former co-star on The Cosby Show, PHYLICIA Rashad, faced her own barrage of criticism following this controversial tweet. PHYLICIA wrote, "Finally, a terrible wrong is being righted. A miscarriage of justice is corrected." The backlash began immediately after PHYLICIA's public support of Cosby's release. Hours later, she followed up with this tweet, which read, I fully support survivors of sexual assault coming forward. My post was in no way intended to be insensitive to their truth. Personally, I know from friends and family that such abuse has lifelong residual effects. My heartfelt wish is for healing.
Okay, and we're back. So that's a little, background on where we're at right now. Like Cosby just got released. Again, we're gonna start on KTTV, but it's two-sided, right? Should Cosby be released? And before I get to each one of y'all, we did a poll. So everybody's tapping into these Broadcast Houston polls. I appreciate y'all. We had 1,200 people vote, and we had 5 different answers: yes, no, hell no, I don't know, and who cares? And 79% of y'all said yes, Cosby should be released. The court has spoken. Let that man live his life. 6% said no. 5% said hell no. 6% want us to talk about it. 6% said who cares. As we're joined by another brother Derek Muhammad. Definitely, no stranger to the Broadcast Houston platform. Appreciate you. Can you hear us?
Yeah, peace, bro. How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you real well. We're here right now. We just we tapped on the Sha'Carri Richardson for a moment, but now we're on to the Cosby and the PHYLICIA Rashad versus the Me Too movement. And we just played a small clip, and I'm going to start from the top. So it has you third right now. So I'm going to start with KTTV. Should Cosby have been released? Yes or no? And then PHYLICIA Rashad celebrating, but then having to actually apologize to the Me Too movement. What do you think? And everybody, while we're having this conversation, you're watching, feel free to comment and let us know what you think out there.
Man, that's a hard one, man. I believe in a bigger purpose, man, and so you just gotta believe he don't make mistakes, right? And so if he got out, no such thing as coincidence. Was this supposed to happen? I guess it was. I guess so. But then you think about how it happened. You know, when I first heard the news, I thought he was innocent, and I thought somebody lied. It was overturned. But then to hear that technicality, you know, you really got to feel for the other people because you don't really know the whole story or the true story of what happened with everything. But at the end of the day, if he's supposed to be locked up, then he'd be locked up. You know, so I mean, I just had to take it as that. So I say, brother supposed to be free, let him out. Now with the PHYLICIA RASHAD, man, you got to think about how you gonna celebrate when your friends come home from jail. They could have been guilty as hell, but man, if my people out, you know, we still gonna celebrate, right? And so I think that was her celebrating from a personal standpoint. But then at the end of the day, that council culture, man. And so as soon as it jumped, people didn't like it. Look how she had to kind of backtrack that celebration when we all know that that came from a good personal place, right? So that's a hard one with her.
Do you still in a person of her stature? Do you celebrate in silence? Do you go call them on the phone, get with your family, or do you take to every fan of yours, knowing that some people might feel differently?
Man, I think you got to stand in the paint for your homies. Like that was a friend, man. So I think I'm pretty sure it was a little bit of both, right? But I mean, who thinking that they're gonna get backlash like that for celebrating a personal friend coming home? You know, but
no, I think she's a woman, and me too. We gonna talk. Let's get to the only lady here, fed up black girl. She's always with the, you know, she gonna quote a book or something on us. But let us know what you feel. First, should COSBY have came home? And two, is PHYLICIA RASHAD wrong for celebrating publicly?
Yeah, about Bill Cosby coming home, man, I have a lot of mixed feelings, and I don't want to take too long, but I think to start, I have.
Oh, you kind of breaking up. You kind
and these sexual assault allegations without. Let me leave and come.
Uh-oh. So she just broke up. She's probably gonna get a better connection when she comes back. We're gonna keep the thing going. So Derek Muhammad, you're next in line. I'm gonna unmute you because I think I muted you. Not sure how much you know on the subject, but let's say Cosby released, PHYLICIA RASHAD celebrated, then apologized to the Me Too movement, not really a particular person. So what's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are, if they violated his civil rights in the way that they prosecuted him, if there was a loophole in the law, and if they didn't go about it the right way, then just like any other American citizen, he deserves to come home. If he had the resources to be able to pursue a release based on the fact that they did not do what they were supposed to do, then that's on them. The Me Too movement they should be angry at the system, not angry at PHYLICIA RASHAD or even Bill Cosby for that matter. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what happened between Cosby and those women. I was not there. I wasn't there. And for PHYLICIA RASHAD to publicly celebrate the homecoming of her lifelong friend and her lifelong mentor, I feel as if though she should have been able to do that. The question is this America or is it not? Do we have freedom of speech or do we not? Do we respect one another's opinion, even if those opinions are So I don't think Phylicia Rashad should have had to be bullied. You know, talking about bullying, I don't think she should have had to be bullied into making an apology because it sounds like she was bullied. And again, I may be missing some points because I haven't been following it like that. But I don't think she should have had to apologize. And I think she should have stood on her principles and just let the chips fall where they may.
Okay, that's real good. No, that's real good. I always wisdom coming from Brother Muhammad. I guess Fed Up Black Girl, she's gonna get that connection right. Let's go to FDA. What do you think about the comments so far? I saw you shaking your head when KT was talking, so you know what I'm saying, he's very opinionated. Unmute. Make sure you unmute. Make sure you unmute.
You know what I'm about to say? I'm tired of the conspiracy talk, bro. When you got a duck, you have a duck. And sometimes it be hard in our community to accept that person is a duck. He's a wolf in sheep clothing, bro. But our community do a good job by hiding them type of guys because we try to stick behind the skin. So when it comes down to what I'm about to say, no. If Bill Cosby was a second-class man in America, he would have lost. Because he was a man with money, he won through technicality. How the system is already set up, they was friends with all they know, they could pay the district attorney to screw up with paperwork, to screw up with things, bro, so they know they can win an appeal, bro. So one thing about it was when they did like Bill Cosby up, you have to satisfy the public because it was a woman screaming in America about a black man assaulting her, bro. And a powerful and political man at that. So when you come with that, I just feel like Bill Cosby balled his way out of prison, but you did that. So you have justifiable with the law, and you can't hide from the way of life, and that's through God. So he had to answer God. God is the true judge. So God probably let him out of prison to see something else, but that don't mean because he got out of prison that he's fully innocent of not doing anything. And not trying to say I don't, because I've been incarcerated. I don't want no black man to be incarcerated. But at the same time, too, some black men put themselves there. And you cannot go around that. What the country that we stay in is it's a corrupt country. If you have it, you can get away with murder and other things too. If you don't got it, you're gonna spend your life in prison.
Okay, so you think that's the politics and everything and the money.
Politics. It was the money. He bought his way out of prison.
Money and politics. Where there's money, there's politics. Okay, what about the Phylicia Rashad situation?
She's a non-factor. I don't must consider whatever she did because she's not the person that did anything. So you can't get mad at her because she's celebrating that her friend came home. So she probably never believed anybody. People got, bro, look, excuse me for my language. I tell people all the time, I tell my young partners, that same dude that you call a hoe ass nigga, somebody love him. So regardless if somebody feel like Bill Cosby was a hoe ass nigga, Phylicia Rashad love him. So she don't see no wrong. And just like he said, that's my friend. He can be guilty as long as he come home. I don't give a damn how he got home. I don't want my friend to spend the rest of his life in prison. So with her, that's truly was on some genuine friendship with her. So I wouldn't stop apologizing to people that don't matter. These people don't matter. They know that she wasn't disrespecting nobody. She wasn't glorifying, screaming, oh, women shouldn't be lying about getting raped. She said, thank God my friend came home from jail. So people need to, but we stay in a country where people want to be sensitive. They are very sensitive. So, she shouldn't have said that, bro. How did it mess up your day that she said that? Even if she would have said something disrespectful, how does that affect your day personally? Come on, bro. People shouldn't care about small shit.
True statements. Y'all tap in on the comments. I think Fed Up Black Girl got her internet connection right. Try to unmute and let us know. Especially we need a black woman. We need a black woman on here to give her 2 cents in perspective. Can you hear us? Okay, you unmuted. Can you hear us? I think she still might be having a little trouble with that. Maybe try to disconnect one more time and then try another room.
I can, but I don't know how good my connection.
It's kind of choppy. Let's go back to KTO. It's open forum discussion, and you know, I really want at least one female to kind of tap in on this. Brother Derek, KT, Brother Derek, go ahead and make sure you unmute. You said one thing about PHYLICIA Rashad being bullied. Now, people being bullied or kids being bullied online for other kids, it's not acceptable. But when you have a group or pact like the Me Too movement, it seems to be okay, or this cancel culture. But go ahead with your statements.
Yeah, again, I hadn't followed it to the letter to know exactly what was said. So forgive me if I misspeak, but I know how the system goes. They have hashtags out here. You know, the Me Too movement is a hashtag for the most part. And people use hashtags to bully other individuals. Again,
groups.
I don't know what happened between Cosby and those women. I don't. As a man, I can safely say that Cosby may have put himself in a compromising position with those women, but I wasn't there. And I know what some people are saying. You should always believe the woman. But see, some of y'all are not out here in these streets. I'll tell you a story real quick. I remember I got a phone call from a friend of mine who said that his little cousin had been raped. She was a 16-year-old student. So I went over, I met with the family, and the story was that she was on her way home from school and she was pulled into an abandoned building and she was sexually assaulted by two men. She gave a description of the two men that sexually assaulted her. Now, I believed her because she's a young girl, she's a female saying, I got raped, I got sexually assaulted. So I started organizing Black men in the neighborhood, and we started doing manhunts to try to find those boys or those men who sexually assaulted her. It got heated, bro. It got heated. You didn't just have activists looking for these young brothers. You had street dudes looking for these young brothers. And I remember street dudes coming to me saying, I think I know exactly who they are. They live on the southwest side. We out looking for them. So this was the scenario. And then one day I got a phone call from her parents saying that she had confessed that she was not telling the truth. She was not sexually assaulted, and that she had lied. But somebody could have got hurt, bro.
Yeah.
Somebody could, and this is not a first 48. This happens in real life. And so I do believe that if a woman comes to you and says, I was raped, I was sexually assaulted, you should not assume that she's lying. But you have to investigate it carefully. Like the Holy Quran says, look carefully into it, lest you harm a people in ignorance and be sorry for what you did. And I hope nobody takes that the wrong way. But the notion that any person, I'm not going to say woman, but any person who says that they have been violated is telling the truth, it's just not true, bro. It's just not true. But as it relates to Bill Cosby, and I respect every word that my brother had to say, the reality is Bill Cosby may have gotten out of jail because of his wealth and his power, but I believe he also went to jail because of his wealth and his power. This is bigger than Bill Cosby. And it's even bigger than the accusers. This is a case where you had a Black man whose legacy, had it been not tarnished by these allegations and this conviction, and again, if he did it, he deserved it. His legacy deserves to be tarnished if he did it. But there were quote unquote higher powers, and I'm not talking. This ain't no conspiracy theory. This is reality that wanted to take him down, and they came after him. 15, 20, 30 years later, that don't happen to normal people. That happens to rich and powerful men that want to be taken down by other rich and powerful men. So even when you look at it from that perspective, the accusers, the victims in the case, they were being used too. This is chess. It is not checkers. Was I happy to see Bill Cosby come home? Yes. And I'm going to tell you why. I don't think that it serves anybody's purpose for him to die in jail. I just don't. But even if he is guilty of what he has been accused of, one way or another, he will pay for it. And in a way, he's already paid for it because the damage is already done. When you read Bill Cosby's obituary after he takes his last breath, they're going to talk more about these allegations than they're going to even speak of his accomplishments. So he is paying the price for it. But whether he did it or not, I got to be honest, man, I don't know. I wasn't there. So I'm not going to pass judgment on him. If he did it, then he needs to be held accountable. If he didn't, then it is what it is. But if they took a shortcut to convict him of it, and he was able to get out of it because of the shortcut that they took, be mad at them. Don't be mad at him.
Okay. We're going to get to FDA. I want to make sure I tap in with my people of Scranton, Wayne Michael. He tapped in with us last time. The key is to show us we have no power, no matter how much money and prestige we have in America, and sacrifice of a rich Caucasian here and there is for public outcry and how racism isn't real. So we can discuss on that a little bit. Obviously, FDA, he sees the other side than Mr. Derek Muhammad. We're gonna get to Fed Up Black Girl because she hasn't got to speak yet. But FDA, go ahead. Make sure you unmute.
Man, look. When that's cool, and I remember that story, bro, because you was with Cornell X. And Cornell X went on the TV and said the girl lied because she couldn't take what happened. I understand that. But you can understand when people lie and you understand when people tell the truth. We need to stop being one-sided and seeing that we always been set up for a conspiracy and realizing somebody is really fucking guilty. Excuse me for my language. When you say how it's set up is that it's my opinion. This is how I feel. Like, this is how I feel. This is not a fact.
Yeah, we just have a discussion.
So how I see life, I see the wicked side of life, bro. I saw the life when the wrong decision is the right decision. When you watch little 60-year-old girls getting pimped and you try to stick to a motherfucker code, say not snitching. Because you don't want to call the police because you don't want to be frowned upon. When you knowing about kids being abused, I saw that when I stayed in the hotel. I saw that shit and lived that shit. So I know the wicked side of life where how people can be silent. Because in the trenches, people are silent because they bound to this fake law. And they let anything go. So when you see it and when you know it, when people when you in the trenches, the people with the money go misuse the people in the trenches. So they'll go get a little girl from Bissonnette and a dude stay all the way in River Oaks. He's a successful businessman. So it's all type of weird shit going on. So he probably felt like he was privileged and he probably tried to take advantage of somebody. That probably really happened. And we cannot keep on saying it's a high power trying to set him up behind his trifling actions. I'm sorry. I feel like he's guilty.
Okay, and so this is what I like on Broadcast Houston and Friends, and I see Derek Muhammad's side of it, I see FDA's side of it, and we're gonna get to what none of us can provide, and that is a Black woman perspective on this issue. Fed Up Black Girl, please unmute and provide some of this for us.
Hey, y'all, sorry about my internet connection. I'm so committed to this conversation. My internet's out of my house. I had to drive down and find some connection so I could talk to you guys and hear you guys. But listen, I appreciate the discussion as I hopped in on so much passion. I have so much to say on this issue. First of all, I think that we have to understand that these terms guilt and innocence, these are all relative. These are not, we treat these things like they are just written in stone, like they are some holy word from on high. Guilt, innocence, these are all terms that are written by the law, that are defined by the law, that are codified by laws that were written by white people for white people, and not for their benefit and for our detriment. So when we say somebody is guilty, somebody is innocent, and we act like, I believe he's innocent, I believe he's guilty, these terms are all relative. They're all arbitrary compared to some standard that somebody wrote in law that should be true and should be right according to them and their opinion. They never ask our opinion when they wrote their laws. So and it's just so interesting how we walk around it, we talk about it in our circles, but I think we are remiss from having this conversation about Bill Cosby. And you guys might have touched on it while my connection was bad, but I think we're remiss if we have this conversation about Bill Cosby supposedly sexually assaulting these many, many women, especially many white women, and we don't talk about the culture of slave rape for so many years in this country. Not only that, not only the culture of slave rape, but also the numerous, and I think Mr. Muhammad was touching on it, if I got that right, the numerous false accusations that are made against Black men, particularly by white women. And so with all of that in mind, I think there can't be just, it's so tempting to say, let me look at what I think are the facts, or let me look at what I heard or what I might know to be the facts in my own opinion, and ignore the cultural backdrop against what all of this is going on against. And it's so easy to say, it's so easy to judge a situation and take it out of its context, its historical, its political, and its cultural context. But every situation has one. And this situation with Bill Cosby has a very deep-seated, disturbing historical and cultural context when it comes to that. The reason why Bill Cosby was acquitted was because of a procedural issue, specifically that a district attorney said that he declined to prosecute Bill Cosby because he thought it would be a difficult case to prove. The reason that he entered into this agreement with Bill Cosby and asked Bill Cosby to do a deposition and testify at a civil trial to waive his so-called Fifth Amendment right to self-incrimination, the reason that they asked him to do that is because the district attorney of this county said that it would be a very difficult case to prove. It was somebody's word against somebody's word. There was not DNA evidence. There was not anything that would specifically corroborate, and they didn't think they would be able to get a conviction. That is out the mouth of the very own people that were there to convict Bill Cosby. They thought that it was a flimsy case to begin with. And so they solicited him to testify, and then later used the same testimony to convict him in court. And tried him twice, because remember, the first time ended in a hung jury. So I think that the problem is that Bill Cosby notwithstanding, I was happy to see him get out, because if I could just be carnal for a second, they've gotten away with raping so many of our women and doing us so wrong that I really don't give a damn whether Bill Cosby did it or not, because it is time for us to get some sort of recognition for the wrong that we've done. Our ancestors paid every debt already, and then some. They shed blood that will go on to cover centuries and centuries of sin. So, but I think without the facts of the Cosby case notwithstanding, I think that the Cosby case reveals some extremely disturbing and disgusting elements of our criminal justice system that I worked with, that pushed me out of the practice of law, because I could not bear to continue to see it happen to my people. I think said it's, but really there are things when but I don't talk bad about other Black people in public. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. So FDA and Derek Muhammad and good words. I want to say something real quick, and KT hasn't spoken since his initial remarks, and so I understand, and so like I said, I'm more of a moderator in this, right? And so I understand each position. I understand people need to pay for their debts. I understand the legalities of the American judicial system. I understand slave rape while we have mixed babies, come from Alabama, Mississippi. I understand all of these things. One thing has not been touched on that maybe KT can touch on: Hollywood. And so when we talk about famous, rich, wealthy, powerful individuals, there are a lot. They're CEOs, they're business owners and things of that nature. A lot of them are not caught, you see what I'm saying, or tried for this type of thing. More often we see Hollywood politicians, you know what I mean? The guy that, I guess they said Trump went to his island. Who was that? Jeffrey Epstein, and like there is a culture, you see what I'm saying? There is a rape culture. There is and it's defined. This is defined as Black men sagging or white men, wearing suit and ties to go and do business. There's a culture. And I think the overall thing that we might be missing with, and the same way we had this conversation about like Tory Lanez last time, scapegoats, you know what I mean? Scapegoats, and we're able to have this conversation because it's brought up in the light right now. But obviously it's something bigger. And when Hollywood and politicians who would have hundreds of thousands of dollars to hire 12-year-olds and then cover it up, you see what I'm saying? And who would have the connections. And when we ask these questions, we try to, like Brother Muhammad said, seek for that truth. As we convict or say he's guilty or not guilty, or 2 years wasn't enough and he should have done 15 or should have died in jail, how can we prevent this in the future? And like Fed Up Black Girl said, we can't go back to our slave, ancestors that got threw over ships for insurance and babies that got fed to alligators. But how can we fix, what's going on? So KTTV, I will present this to you, because we had 6% of people that said, who cares? Everyone in Hollywood is doing it. Nothing changes. So how do we fix this from a high level going forward?
Man, I don't think I might have to agree with the poll, man. Like you say, this is going on, man. You think back to something that's throwback as like Studio 54, man, and just everything that people had in their culture, right? And so when you think about Epstein, I watched that movie and I was seeing people like Bill Clinton or Trump and all these people that's hanging around, and they are knowing what's going on with this guy, right? You think about that stuff with Bill Cosby, all those people, right? And so was that just the culture? And then it just came back, like you say, somebody got to take this blame now, but I don't know if it's a way to stop it from the outside because it's so common and it's so accepted. And everybody's hush about it until they're not. And so in this case, it was a time where it came and they weren't. Epstein, it was a time that they weren't. And so I don't think we change it from the outside, though, man. It's too deep in there, and too many billions in that game, man.
FDA, we'll go in order. What do you think about that? And the Hollywood and the, let's forget conspiracy theory. Let's Epstein Island. Let's think about, or even go to Playboy Mansion. And we know girls under 18, you see what I'm saying? And this is bigger than a date rape. This is, like you said, power, influence being used to, sexually advance. So make sure you mute. Unmute.
I can't speak about something I never experienced, you know what I'm saying? So I can give my best opinion. But what I'm gonna say is just like you said, from the outside, when you stand outside the window, you can't fix nothing. So you gotta be in the inside. It's gonna have to take to the people that's being victims to really speak out and don't speak out too late. You know what I'm saying? Because like that's why I believe that's why you put doubt in people's truth. When if this horrible stuff happened to you, bro, why you didn't say the instant after it happened? Why did you wait so long to say it? But it gotta be more awareness of people talking. As long as you don't have people talking, you'll never be aware of nothing, and things can keep on going and transpiring. It's about the silence that the victim have and to the unfit loyalty of the person that is going on with. These people got money to do, like, what's so crazy about it, like these documentaries. I'm gonna say this story right quick. When I got into the mind of R. Kelly to try to understand if he was like, it's not about guilt. Did you really do this? Did you really do all these actions, bro, that these people are accusing you of? So before you can even say that, you got to just listen to people's stories and listen to the people that's trying to convict him, bro. So when you listen to a story about how R. Kelly was molested by a dude in the neighborhood, the mom, how the dude beat the case was that he gave the mom $5,000. And the mom, the dude used their situation of them being in poverty against them so he can get away with molesting R. Kelly. But if R. Kelly mom would have brought light to this man being molested, she could have probably got her son help or got this man in trouble, but she covered it up due to financial gain, bro. So that's being silenced by money. People not understanding. I was not seeing $2,000, bro. This man is about to pay me $100,000 or $50,000, bro, just to be quiet, and I don't have to struggle no more. This is the world that we living in, bro. That they use their situation against them, bro. And that's what make it so bad. I'm not saying, bro, like just like I said, I know it's lying ass people out here. But when you got your mind right, and that's sad we stay in the country, because sometimes the country don't have their mind right. But when you got your mind right, you have no choice but to see the truth. If you're a person that believes in something, you're loyal to yourself and loyal to positivity, you're going to know what the truth is. You're going to know what a lie is. It's about the action, the trustworthiness of that person. So in order for us to correct that thing, it's called honesty, bro. Tell the truth, bro. Don't be afraid. But if this keep on going on, we're going to keep on having speculations of people saying people lying. Because why you did not tell? Why did you wait? Being honest. Tell when it happened. That's how it stopped.
Okay. I want to go last, the fed up black girl. I want Derek Muhammad to backdoor that. Yeah, make sure you unmute.
Yes, sir. And what was the question again, my brother?
So on this high level of Epstein Island and you know the Playboy Ranch, all these things. How
I got
you.
Yeah. I mean, again, like the brother who spoke before me said, I think his name is FDA. I personally have never experienced any of this. I've never been to a party in Hollywood, so I can't say what I've experienced as a human being, but I think most of us are pretty clear that the culture in Hollywood is pay to play. There's child sex trafficking that takes place at some of these private parties, and we know that there's this couch culture where if you come in for an interview for a movie,
casting
they call
couch,
it a casting couch, right? Depending on how far you're willing to go and what you're willing to compromise and sacrifice, that determines how far you will go in Hollywood. This is partially what Cosby is accused of. Cosby engaged, and I'm saying if, again, I was not there. If he engaged in this type of behavior, whether it was in the 70s, 80s, 90s, or 2000s, or whenever, he just got the biggest wake-up lesson of his life. That just because the white boys in Hollywood get away with these things, don't ever think you can get away with what they get away with. It's the same in electoral black politics. Black politicians have to understand, just because you see the white politician get away with certain things under the table, don't make the mistake of thinking you can do the same thing that they do, lest you end up doing 28 years in federal prison like our brother Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick, who is now released, and I'm glad to see him come home. People have a problem with the fact that he came home, but the point that I want to make more than anything else, how do we remedy this? We remedy this, brother, by uniting, pooling our resources, and creating our own Black Hollywood. Okay. See, the answer to escaping the traps in white Hollywood is for us to create our own Hollywood. And when we create our own Hollywood, we create our own standards. We create our own our check procedures. We create our own laws, and then that way, if someone is doing what Cosby has been accused of, we check that at the front door, not 30 years later. So I think what has to happen is we have to become more independent in the way we create our content for entertainment, and we have to become independent in what it is that we support as a people. And so if all Black actors and directors and executive producers come together and they put their monies together and they combine their influence to create a blockbuster movie, we should be found supporting that. And whatever whatever they put in place in terms of how a person gets a role in a movie, or how a person, gets a job on the set or whatever, that has to pass the smell test for the community. And that way we ensure Black women are respected and protected. That way we ensure that those who work the hardest get the jobs and things of that nature. We will never be able to fix what goes on in Hollywood, California, but if we create Hollywood, Mississippi, that we can control.
Very good words. Very glad you got to hop on at the last second. And I'll say two things to that. Black Panther, we showed out. You see what I'm saying? When we found out, this all Black cast and very melanated, at that, we showed out. And I think Tyler Perry Studios, you know what I mean? And it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that, because, sometimes they only let you get to a certain level before, hey, you're going to have to pick a side. And so before we go to Fed Up Black Girl, it almost seems like the person needing the money or the consumer almost has in droves, in as a majority has just as much influence as the celebrity or the one person with the money. It's Fed Up Black Girl. I would love to it's closed, and then we're gonna get final remarks from everybody. But on the whole, high level of I guess the white folks have been doing it forever. You know what I'm saying? Was he a scapegoat, and how do we fix this? Make sure you unmute.
Wow, yeah. I mean, it's hard to go after all that. That was so good. I definitely think that Cosby was a scapegoat. I think that white liberalism is a huge problem in this country. I think that the co-opting of the Me Too movement was by white women was a huge problem, is a huge problem in this country. And I think there's so many problems with white liberalism. One big one is that eventually when white liberals say, we better believe the person who's the accuser, and we better make sure that in these sexual accusation cases we do this, that, and the third. White liberals then and white America are out for blood. They have to have somebody. They have to have somebody to blame for this. They have to have somebody's blood has to be shed. Somebody has to go down. And if we think again about the social and political climate of when Bill Cosby was arrested, charged, convicted, tried and convicted, there were all of these cases coming out. There were all of these sexual assault accusations against all of these high-powered people in Hollywood. And somebody had to go down for it. And so I don't think it's a conspiracy theory to say that Black people are scapegoated. I think that that is absolutely historically factual. And somebody had to pay, and I think Bill Cosby had to, whether or not he factually committed these crimes, somebody had to pay, and unfortunately it was a bad day for Bill Cosby. As far as how we fix it, I agree wholeheartedly with Mr. Muhammad. I think that centering Blackness is the key. And I think, just to expand on what he said, a lot of times when we try to take something as Black people and we try to do it ourselves, a mistake that we've made, because we've been taught to hate ourselves and we've been taught to follow rather than to lead, is that we want to do it exactly the way white people did it, except with Black faces. We want to have Black people involved, but we want to still follow their model. So I completely agree, and I totally support the idea of us not only having our own for us, but centering Blackness and centering our values, centering our culture, creating a new atmosphere, creating a new sort of accountability, a new system, one that speaks to us and one that is unique to us. So I think that is, if not the full solution, what's been laid out here, I think it's a huge part of the solution, and at minimum, it's a start.
Okay, we're right at 55 minutes. So I appreciate each one of you all taking your time out on this 4th of July weekend. We definitely got to do it again, but I just want to go from KTTV again. Let everybody know where they can follow you, and any closing remarks.
Man, big shouts out to everybody that was on the panel today. Man, I know every time I turn on my YouTube, man, I see that Houston documentary that Derek did, man. So I'm always checking that out, man. So big shouts out. So much touched on to just keep us woke, man. To just let us know that things really are replaying themselves. Are you gonna catch it on this loop or the next loop? And that's really it. And so like I say, I think the only way we change stuff is we put things together, and we have to do it our way. And so until we kind of do that and come together, man, we may keep losing us some things here. So that'll be just a message. If you're trying to find me, kttv.com, man, that'll give you all the social stuff. I think we just crossed over 5K subs for the YouTube. So, man, come check us out. We got some things going.
For sure. FDA. Make sure you're on mute. There you go.
I'm off of mute. I'm gonna say this, okay? We as Black people, we stay in a different time and era. Like in Oklahoma, when them Black people got their wealth, the envious and the jealousy of the white people, they went in and destroyed it. And after they destroyed it, and after they rebuilt, they raised the property tax so these people couldn't afford their property anymore. That's not happening to us no more. If a white person try to take one of our life, we can equally kill a white man and get away with it. Back in the day, it was no getting away with anything. I understand this is a part of our history and this is what happened to us, but I never experienced being a slave. But I have experienced systematic racism where they feel like I don't deserve a car, they feel like I don't deserve an iPhone because I'm Black or I'm doing something wrong. So it's changed. The era of the day have changed. So how can we beat the system? Just like he said, be together. But we taught to be divided. And so do you understand right now, if every Black person they hear click and say, we about to work together like ants, we'll be multi-billionaires? But long as they want to, like, they don't support, America don't support. This was one thing about, I'm not defending anything, but America don't support our positivity. The only thing they show is murder, robbery, and everything else. It was a little boy that saved the little girl from the pool, but they overshadowed that shit because they want to talk about murder. Right now, what the news is doing in Houston, and right now what these characters are doing in Houston, they putting fear in our houses. Houston is a very dangerous place to be at right now because of the media. Because they want to show the world that we are destroying ourselves, bro. Until we get there, eliminate that sort of destroying ourselves. We can't destroy ourselves. We got to work hard. That's when we get it together. We have to, before these oppressors are respected, because now I realize as being a black man, the most feared black man is a black businessman that know what's going on. They don't want us to know what's going on. So that's why they want us to be ignorant. We have to become smart. That's how we check. That's how we check the problem. We got to get our knowledge together. That's how we check the problem. The problem is we keep on having ignorant stuff, the trenches. Ain't no such thing as the trenches. We have to teach the trenches. We have to teach third ward. Y'all need to make some money so they can't push y'all out. If they want to rebuild, buy that motherfucker they want to rebuild. Because you got the money to stay. The only way we have black unity and black empowerment, we have to educate and not to be afraid to educate also. That's my closing statement.
Where can they find you? Where can they find you?
MTM_FDL. You can find me on Trap House Media on YouTube.
For sure. I'm gonna go with Derek Muhammad after that because y'all are fireballs and I love it. Y'all got to come back. You know what I mean? And I know I met Brother Muhammad on the No More Bloodshed movement, and he's definitely in that. And hopefully FDA and Muhammad, like y'all have two different perspectives, but you know what I'm saying? I really feel like, you know what I'm saying, I've touched both of y'all spirit. Hopefully y'all connect too. But go ahead, Brother Muhammad.
Right. Much love to my brother FDA. And I agree with him that the key is for us to educate. You know, knowledge is power. And we have to cultivate the land between our ears before we can cultivate the land underneath our feet. But the one thing that I have to say as a correction, no, you cannot kill a white man and equally get away with it, even in 2021. And statistics bear me witness. No, you can't. This is what I teach my mentees all the time. Don't ever think that as a black man in America that you have the same privileges as white men in America. And if you think it's a game, go try it. But beyond that, I didn't get a chance to speak about our sister Sha'Carri Richardson. I think what Sha'Carri Richardson did was a misstep, but I don't think it was a misstep more than it was a cry for help. That little sister is hurting. She's in great pain. And what she's trying to do is she's trying to figure out who around her loves her beyond what her athletic ability can do for them. That's so good. I think we need to see her as one of our daughters first and as an athlete second. I don't give a damn about the goddamn Olympics. The Olympics ain't never did nothing for black folks. All they do is they use athletes' bodies with no respect or deference for those athletes' minds. I don't give a damn if she ever runs another meter. She's a star. If she decides to become a nail technician, I support her, you know, and I think that we have to look at it from the perspective of her health, her mental health, her well-being, and her peace of mind. That's more important than doggone track. And I think that that kind of support coming from her community is what's going to help her to be healthy and whole. We don't want to lose her to the Hollywood culture. You understand what I'm saying? And so we have to be very, very careful how we approach situations like this when our young ones make mistakes. We made mistakes too. And it makes me want to vomit sometimes to see how self-righteous we become. How many goddamn blunts did you smoke when you were 20 years old? You understand what I'm saying? Just because she's in the public eye, it doesn't matter. She's still a human being. She's not a freaking machine. Does she need to be held accountable? She's already being held accountable. She's been practicing for the Olympics her entire life. A part of that will be denied her because of what she did. So I say let's support her. And let's get behind her because she needs her village right now. She don't need more judges. Beyond that, my brother, shout out to Broadcast Houston. Shout out to all of the other panelists. It's been an honor. Please forgive me for coming on late, but I'm honored to be a part of this conversation. Love y'all.
Where can they find you at? Did you tell them where they can find you?
At Derek Muhammad on social media. That's DericMuhammad. Thank you.
A lot of great work, and I just reached out to him during the while we were on here last second. He popped up for me, man. I appreciate you so much. You know it's always love this way. Make sure y'all check out everything he's doing. He's got a book, and what's the other one more thing, Brother Muhammad? What's the thing you have for the youth, the boys?
Oh, it's called Smarten Up Black Male Summit. Biannually, we host a summit that specifically addresses the needs of Black boys. But also go on YouTube and watch our documentary called Tears in the Bio. My brother mentioned it. It's a really good documentary. I think it's probably approaching maybe 3 million views right now. It talks about the underbelly of the violence in the city of Houston. Again, it's been an honor to be a part of the conversation. And I want to just hit my mute button so I can listen to what my sister has to say.
Big love, big love. The closer, we're ready for you. The lawyer, the debate coach, the everything. Close us out.
Wow, thank you. I want to say, first of all, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Black Girl Fed Up. I just speak how I feel on there. Nothing too serious. Just come on and enjoy if you want to. Wow, I feel inadequate to close because it's just been such an amazing panel today. I'm glad I got some internet connection. Sorry about that. You guys have been so awesome today. I really appreciated the theme that I saw throughout, no matter the agreement, no matter the disagreement, no matter what topic that we were on, the themes that I saw that were underlying what each and every one of us said were compassion and unity. Those were the two things that that really stood out to me from every panelist. And those are things that we don't see in the world that we live in. We certainly don't have compassion for one another, even for our own. And we certainly are not unified the way that we should be. And so for me, I take this as my own personal, the only thing that I can take from this is my own personal learning and growth and healing from this experience. And so for me, what I am taking away is to work to become more unified, more connected with Black people everywhere, more about the work, and more about the business of our liberation. I think we can always grow. We can always do more. We can always do better. And so it's my pledge to use my resources, the little that I have, to stay connected and to try to unify and pool my resources with the rest of my family, with the brotherhood and sisterhood of us all over. And so hopefully that before I leave this side of life, that I can see more unity and more freedom among us.
This is Broadcast Houston and Friends. And I think if anything else we've saw, even if there is debate or people have differences of opinion, we can all come together and agree, which is the whole point of me even doing this. I'm not an interview person. I don't feel like I'm a media personality. I like to say I'm a content creator. But, I know different people. I've connected with a lot of them. And I just know if we get in a room and people get to share their stories, people can learn from each other. And then there's only division through ignorance. And once you thoughtfully and open-heartedly listen to somebody that has a different opinion than you might learn something and put that in your database. You might not take it all. You might discard something. You might keep some of it. But we all understand each other. One more time, appreciate each one of you all on this busy 4th of July weekend. Everybody drive safe. Don't pop firecrackers too close to the house. We want to see everybody live to the next day. Y'all enjoy y'all extended vacation and everything like that. I think you're going to Aruba and everything. We love everybody. It's Broadcast Houston, Darn HCX. Shout out to Albert Harris. Everybody that tapped in and everything like that. Compassion is a lost value. We need to have more compassion, more love in this community. Once again, Broadcast Houston. Until next time, make sure you can follow us everywhere on Broadcast Houston. Thank you.